Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another weekly check-in video, and for today's video we're going to be weekly checking in for week 3. The weeks have just been going by so fast. I can't believe that October is almost done, then November, and then December, which means Christmas, and I'm really excited about all of that. And to be honest, I actually made a purchase from my Christmas sinking fund this past weekend. So let me go ahead and just get started. I have my cash envelopes here, as well as my budget expense stickers, my micro happy notes, where I keep my trackers for my cash envelopes all ready to go. So let's just move right along. I'm going to be weekly checking in from the 12th until the 18th, which is from Monday through Sunday. So let's start with laying down our stickers. Now this time around I did have quite a bit of expenses, not only from my cash envelopes but also from my sinking funds, which is I think probably the most I have spent from my sinking funds. So the first expense that I had was for some hair dye on Monday. This was the day that I actually dyed my hair, and I realized that I wanted to go a little bit more coppery, so then I went ahead and picked up 2 boxes of a completely different hair dye than I've been using, and so I'm really excited for that. I'm hoping to dye my hair, I'm thinking by this week, the last week of October. So that was $19. And then that day we also went grocery shopping, so I did spend some money for my groceries. Cash envelope, we went to Food for Less, which if you guys would have seen last week's vlog, then you know how crazy that receipt was, and we actually ended up spending around $50, which is crazy because just last weekly check-in video I remember telling you guys that in order for me to be okay with my groceries money, then I would have to spend $50 each week. And I actually made that work last week, so that made me really happy. That was on the 12th. Then I didn't have any expenses from the 13th all the way until the weekend, and the reason being is because I was getting ready to release my December budgeting kits and a couple of weekly kits on the 15th. So the 13th from the 15th was probably just me getting down to designing and getting everything ready for that release, as well as getting orders out so that I could take Friday and the weekend off. And so on the 16th we actually went to a pumpkin patch, me and Paul, but that came out of my sinking funds, which I will show you guys once I'm done weekly checking in. But we went to a pumpkin patch kind of closer to where my sister lives, so we did go ahead and sleep over at her place, and we went shopping, went to the mall, and I actually bought myself clothes. I spent quite a bit of money, not gonna lie to you guys, but what makes me happy is that I was actually ready for the spending that I did because I've been saving some money in my clothing sinking fund, so that was really fun. So on Friday, the difference between what I had in my sinking funds and what I spent was $24. So I did go ahead and take that out of my allowance, since of course I did have some allowance money left. So in total I spent over like $140, I want to say, on clothes from like Hollister and Zara, which are not typical places that I would shop at, but we were walking around the mall on Friday and my sister took me to those stores and I really liked them. So I'm really happy about the clothing that I have, because I've been saying how I want to get like more fall clothing because I don't really have any, and so I was able to do that then. And just shopping around with my sister was really fun. So really enjoyed the time that I spent there. And then for dinner we went to the Cheesecake Factory, and I think Paul paid most of it, but I did go ahead and chip in with $25 from my eating out cash envelope. So that was also on the 16th. And then last but not least, my last expense for my cash envelopes was on the 17th. I ended up getting a new brow product for myself. It's called a Brow Wiz, if you guys have ever used Anastasia. And I ended up getting it for $16, which is kind of crazy because I think that thing is like $21. But we ended up going on base to the PX with my sister, and it's amazing to purchase because my Brow Wiz was actually at a discount and I don't have to pay taxes on base. So it's like amazing, and I'm really happy that I was able to pick that up, because the brow product that I'm using as of now, it's very red, and I'm trying to go once again more coppery. So that's gonna work out with what I have. And that was on the 17th. And that was all of the expenses from my cash envelopes. So now I'm gonna go down and mark my no spends. All right, so let's take payday and no spend. So payday was on Tuesday, and I had one on the 13th, one on the 14th, one on the 15th, and one on the 18th, which is great if you ask me. Now, that was not the only spending I had, so I will go through my sinking funds and transaction log for that separately. But that was, I think, where most of the spending went, if we're being honest. But before I start, I am going to go ahead and check off my student loan payment, because that does come out automatically. And then now I think, yes, I am already to weekly check-in. So let me take you guys to my weekly check-in spread. We're on to week 3, like I mentioned, from the 12th until the 18th. And my cash envelope categories are groceries, household, eating out, gas, allowance, beauty, and unbudgeted, which if I wouldn't have been prepared for the shopping trip that I took, I would have had to put all that as an unbudgeted expense. But I'm really happy that I've been preparing, and stuffing my sinking funds and cash envelopes with money to spend. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's great to save most of your money and to, work towards your financial goals, but it's also nice to treat yourself once in a while. And as I've been saying, I've been wanting to buy myself clothes, and it was just so liberating to be able to spend the money that I've been saving for that, specifically. So okay, first is groceries. And now for groceries, we only had one trip to Food for Less for $50. So I spent $50 for my groceries, cash envelope, which means that I have $100 remaining. Once again, I would still have to only be spending $50 a week for groceries, which I think is very doable, especially because me and Paul like to split our grocery runs and just anything else really that has to do with the apartment. So I have 50, 70, 80, 95, and 100 left. Next is household. And I actually don't have any of these clay colored stickers, so I didn't spend any money for household this week. So that means that I should have $50 in my household envelope. And that is 20, 40, and 50. And here's my tracker. Yes, I haven't spent any money for household since our Target trip on the 8th. There we go. Then for eating out, I spent $25 at the Cheesecake Factory. So 25. So 75 remaining from last week minus 25. That means that I should also have $50 in my eating out cash envelope, so you guys can see. And this is my eating out envelope. I have 20, 40, and 50. Once again, I do think I'm gonna spend some money this upcoming week because it is my friend Karen's birthday. So I should be good with the $50, I want to say. After that, we have gas, which I didn't pump gas. Oh my god, we did end up going to my sister's, and I actually didn't run out of gas. I'm almost there, so I do foresee myself pumping gas once this month, but I want to say that's going to be it. I think so, yes. So since I didn't spend any money, I should still have the $70 I started with. in the beginning of the month here. And we have 20, 40, 50, 65, 70. Okay, that's for gas. Then allowance, I spent $24 for my allowance, cash envelope. So 24. And I had remaining $60 last week. So that means that I have $36 left in my allowance, which is, I think, still a pretty good amount for me to roll over into my allowance sinking fund. So I'm honestly not mad about that at all. So 36, so 20, 25, 30, 35, and 36. Perfect. So that's allowance. And then for beauty, last but not least, I had two expenses, one for $19 and the other for $16. So that means that I spent $35 for my beauty cash envelope. So 110 minus 35, that means that I have $75 left, which is perfect because that is the amount that I need for my eyelash bill. So that is actually pretty perfect. And that is after my hair dye and the brow wiz. And here is my beauty cash envelope. Last but definitely not least, we have 50, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So $75. Sorry, I want this to be straight. Okay, so that is what I have left over in my cash envelopes. Pretty good amounts if you ask me, especially because I still have 2 more weeks. Last but not least, I know I didn't have any unbudgeted expenses, so I'm just going to put a 0 here and a dash in the remaining since I don't budget anything for that unbudgeted category. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that week. I know it doesn't seem like that much spending, but let's go ahead and take a look at my sinking funds because I did kind of go a little ham, if you ask me. All right, so let's go on to my sinking funds, spread as well as transaction log. Well, actually, it doesn't look like that much, does it? Okay, so I had a transaction from my entertainment fund on the 16th for $20. Like I mentioned, me and Paul went to a pumpkin patch, so I did go ahead and just contribute, I think, for the entrance, as well as I bought us coffee. So that was a total of $20. Then on the 16th, I bought clothing. I spent all of the money I had in my clothing sinking fund, which was a total of $118. And once again, I went shopping at Zara and Hollister. So that's kind of the description there. Then on the 12th, which I completely forgot about up until I was realizing and going through all of my things, that I did spend some money for my birthday's sinking fund on the 12th. I spent $21 for a Funko Pop, and I'm not going to say who it's for specifically, but I'm going to ship it to her for her birthday once her birthday comes, but I got a Funko Pop, let's just say that. Then on the 16th again, I did spend some money for my date night sinking fund. I spent $29 from there, and I decided to buy Paul a sweater from Hollister, so that ended up being $29. And then I realized, and it kind of clicked in my head, like, hey, if you want, you could start spending some of your Christmas sinking fund towards presents for Paul. And so that is actually what I did on the 17th when we went to the PX on base with my sister. I spent some money for my Christmas sinking fund on the 17th. I spent $60 for a windbreaker and I believe some like wrapping paper. So I did take that out of my Christmas sinking fund, and that windbreaker I'm not going to give Paul. I'm going to wrap it up. He's going to open it up Christmas Eve and he's going to act surprised that he has never seen it, and that's going to be one of his presents. So I did go ahead and spend $60 for my Christmas fund, and I'm so happy that I once again have been saving that money in that fund because I now get to start spending it and start buying things for all of my family members, friends, and whatnot. So that actually made me really happy that I was able to do that because Once again, there's no taxes at the PX, and it was just perfect to buy just things for Paul and whatnot. So that is all the transactions that I had this past week from my sinking funds. Really excited for the next couple of weeks to see what else it is that I am going to buy my family and whatnot. But yeah, really happy about me being able to cover all of the kind of shopping and whatnot with my sinking funds and my cash envelopes. And now last but not least, before I go, because yeah, we finished with our weekly check-in, checked in with my sinking funds transaction log, and now I am going to show you guys kind of the business expenses that I've made for my variable income sources. I've only had two. One was on the 12 for $9.99. I purchased these spicy noodles specifically for the spicy noodle challenge that I just filmed with my friends yesterday, so be on the lookout for that. It was actually a really fun video, and I think we're gonna end up buying the more spicy ones because this was actually not that bad, at least for us. So that is marked as a business expense because I did use that for an upcoming video. So that was that. And then on the 17th, I spent $31 as always from Simply Gilded for her sub box. And this time around, it is called Divine. Once again, I have been grandfathered into the old pricing. So that's kind of one of the main reasons why I still haven't canceled my Simply Gilded. And also aside from that, I haven't had any other expenses. I haven't been buying stickers here and there like in the past because I'm really trying to destash some of my items and finally list them up over on my destash Instagram. So definitely be on the lookout if you guys are interested. I actually have already started destashing some of my kits and stickers and whatnot. So I think I'm almost all there and all ready to start posting my things. But with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it for this weekly check-in video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know that these kind of get a little bit repetitive, but I do, as always, want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do not forget to give it a huge thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you guys are not subscribed already, and I will see you guys next week. Bye bye, guys.